Hi at Espresso Press Design. Thank you for joining me today on this March 18th, 2025. Today we're going to do some textured elements, collages. But first I'm going to do the usual and show you my new paper. I have two new papers, but one I didn't print because I transferred it from Shopify over to Etsy because it was small enough file size. But this is Naturalist Wildflowers paper collection, and just some sweet little groupings of wildflowers. Can pretty much go with anything, and make a nice addition to a nature journal, summer journal, fall journal. Very, what's the word? My mind is blank. I lose all my vocabulary the minute I get on video. That's going to bother me now. Okay, anyway, that's that. But thank yous and appreciations, as always, to Sheila, Amy, Dawn, Leslie, Tasha Bonna, Kelly, Tony, Tangi, Debbie Job, Constance, Gwenielle, Susan, Cheryl, and Samuel. Thank you so much for everything. Your purchases, your likes, your shares, your subscribes. I appreciate it very much. You really, without you, this channel would pretty much be nothing. And my products would be nothing, and everything would be nothing. So I hope I'm going to keep this in frame today, because I notice, I think I moved the mat, and when I get on video, I think my camera's crooked, and then it drives me crazy. Okay, so I made these textured elements. I got inspired by some really artistic textured images and different things people do on Pinterest and Instagram, and every time I tried to do it, I never liked it. And these are the first ones I've actually ever done that I like. So I have been recycling watercolors for various things, so I thought I would try that, and it turned out pretty well. So there they are. So I think this is pretty self-explanatory, so I'm not going to do the watercolor part. But basically what I did is I took some old watercolors, and then I went over them with new colors, and then I stamped on top of them with some plain type text and some texture stamps. And I hope that's pretty self-explanatory. You can make your own watercolor type backgrounds like this if you don't have old watercolors and you don't want to stamp on them. But that's just pretty much how I got my bases and watercolor scraps. So I think I'm going to add a few more, add a little more text to this one in some areas, and just show you that part, because otherwise I have to do a watercolor and then I have to wait for it to dry, and that's why I am hesitant to do that. I'm sorry. Every time I come down here, I start losing my voice. I know that's really annoying. There's someone else. Let me make sure this is right. There's someone else I watch on YouTube, and he's from the same state. And every time he does the same thing, I about leave my chair. So I know it's annoying. I'm sorry. Maybe I should pop a cough drop in my mouth before I come down. Okay. I don't think I'm going to fit any more in there. So let me just get a little texture here. Some of these areas. I don't know if I'm going to keep that white spot. Okay, so that's pretty much step 2. So let me show you what you'll need here. Obviously stamps, some type of watercolor or ink. You can use ink if you desire background. I have all my watercolor. I'm using packaging for my base, and these edges, like you cut off the edge of a cereal box, are excellent for this. Of course, I didn't have any, but they're about the right size because these are about, the base is about 3 by 3, 2 by 3. Yeah, about 3 by 3 they end up being. And my base is a little smaller. So there's the back. So that's basically what I used, packaging for the base. And then your little paper snippets, whatever you want to use. I've been using the watercolors and some of these watercolor background papers that I didn't think turned out very well. So I'll probably stick with that color range today. But any painty papers, things like that. Here's another one. And then our scrappy fabric bin, strings, fabric, lace, ribbons, yarn. This is my scrappy bin, and that's what I've been pulling from. That's kind of cool. I think I'll use that today maybe. And then I have an awl, and I have some brads, some antique brads here that I've been using. So, okay. What you're going to do is, I'll put these here for us, and I'll be following those for inspiration. So you're just going to tear your base. How did I get my hand all dirty so fast? Oh my God, where'd that come from? Look at that. So you're going to start with your base, and I just tore it because it was kind of grungy too, so that's how I began. And then I took some textured papers. Should I do this on a magazine or not? I think I can get away without it. I took some textured papers from these strips, and I just began layering them around my base. Let's see. Making sure they're nice and torn. Kind of like that orange. Going around. Basically what you do is just keep building up. Should I keep that? Probably not. Until you can't see your base. All that blue. Like so. So I usually just start it around the edges. And I got that down. Get the glue going. So I hope everyone's doing well today. Looks like we're going to have a beautiful day. Oh, come on. I just filled you up last night. And I'm just using my Lineco bookbinding glue. Not getting out the fabric tack or anything like that, even though I'm using fabric. I don't see anything moving anywhere, and Lineco works pretty well on fabric as well, so that's my go-to glue. And I don't care if things are even or not. Oh, come on. What do I have in here? Big glob. But these were actually, yes I do. These were actually the first clusters I ever made that I actually liked. I mean, I like fabric clusters, and I like a mix of fabric and paper clusters, but I never actually liked my paper clusters. I don't know why. It just didn't appeal to me. I love that touch of sea blue there. And then these kind of reminded me of spring and the birds gathering all their stuff for their little nest building. And I saw people using thread and yarn and all that type of stuff, and I just thought, oh, that's so creative. I wish I could be that free. So now here's the part where we are going to put our, basically a square, and that's my real base, if you can see that. And I'm not going to glue it down flat because I might want to go behind it. And I really wanted a part where I could truly see the text. So I might cut another one. I think I will. And get that bluish yellow there. So I'm just using my homemade tear ruler. I'm not going to worry about that white because I'm probably going to cover it up. Just get a basic little square here. And then I'll plop that on there. But first I might want to put some fabric in the background and some thread and some string. Do I like that or not? No, I think it's too... I know what I want. Some more of this gauzy. This was my daughter's lining for her baptism dress. And the edge is all fringy, and I want another piece of that. Now if you have your cheesecloth, that's going to work for that. I probably shouldn't have should choose something a little more flat. So I'm not having to paste it down so much, and there's strings flying off this all over the place. So I think I want some of that there. Coming down a little bit. This does get a little messy. Okay. Then I did some texture lines in the background. Let me see if I have any more of that. I hope so, because I really like that ombre. Let me see here. Here's a tiny piece of that. Maybe I can use that. I also have some thread. I forgot to say that. This is the time to gather your, if you keep your thread cut-offs from your sewing machine, now is the time, which I actually vacuumed mine up. Let me get some lace out here. Maybe now's the time to use a piece of that. And I'm not seeing any ombre in there. I don't see any more of that brown either. So I'm going to cut some of this ombre yarn off here. And I layered quite a bit of that up. Really want some of that little brown fabric, so let me see if I can find some. If not, I'll just maybe cut off a piece of this. Have some in this leaf. Have one little snippet I see here. Oh, I really like that because it has like a little calico pattern. Maybe I'll use some of this. No, not seeing any more. Okay, I'll be moving on. Oh, there's a little piece. Yay. Okay. Here's another little flower. This was my daughter's infant bed sheet fabric. I think I'll put, okay, I'll do that later. I'll get my string here in the background. And I just kind of put a couple layers wherever I thought. Put some glue down there. Again. Now I lost my top. Good thing I keep a spare. What is up with you today, Mr. Glue? So I would just run a bit of glue and just plop my string down there. And basically you just keep layering and layering texture. Okay. a little bit. So you're behind. And I don't know where my silicone thing is, but the silicone face mask thing comes in handy because you can hold things down without them sticking to your fingers. So I'm just going to put glue in the center there because I want to keep the edges up. Get that there. See a little bit of white. Give it a press because so it makes contact. And then if I wanted to dye something on the fly, which I'm probably going to do to this, I just poked it in my watercolor. Which I have right here. I don't like that ruffled edge. I even saved these little bits and glued those on in places. So basically, if it had texture, I kept it. I am going to dye that. And every little piece I kept. So let me get some quick brown here. And your hands are going to get all gluey. Everything's going to get all gluey. There we go. So I dyed that in 2 seconds. And I didn't worry about it. I just squeezed all the water out of it and it dried pretty fast. I still think I need I'm going to put 2 on there this time. Okay. I'm going to put some thread behind it. So yesterday, I kind of didn't even realize it was St. Patrick's Day until the end of the day. Losing my dates. So then I would lay that there and make a loop, and then sometimes I would cut the loop so it was more like a fringe. That's not long enough. How can I get that bigger? Guess I'll go like this. Yeah, I'm gonna make that a fringe. You can make little nest shapes, you can make little coil. I saw those coiled clothesline coasters. I thought those were cool. So that inspired, when I pulled my yarn, I ended up with a piece that looked a little coiled. So I thought, I'm just going to keep that. Have a little bit of white there. On the bottom, I'm not liking too much. This is dry already. So yeah, my watercolor tray right next to me comes in handy for dyeing paper and everything on the fly. Okay, a little bit of lace I could probably tuck under there. Just the right amount. And I saved every little piece. There we go. So that's why those edges are not, it's not glued down flat, so I can keep tucking things wherever I need to. There we go. That's starting to look good. I need some more up here. Let's try a little bit of this. It's going to be pretty wild maybe, but as long as it's fringy. Ooh, that's kind of crazy, but it's fine. And then another thing I was thinking, well, this looks like things the crows would drag around. I missed my crows. They've been coming back. And let's put a little piece of this. That's all fringy. And it's going to go nicely with that rust on the bottom. And then I'll show you how they'll look in a book and on a book. And they are not as bulky as you might think. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. All kinds of stringy stuff popping out of there. Okay, so these, probably cut them off a little bit and then take them apart. I love that blue. Let me see if I can keep that. Just by fringing this a little bit. Curling it. Probably not. I'll just put it somewhere else. So I would tear my yarn apart, or my twine as well. Let's see, I'm getting a curl there by doing that. I really like that. I don't think it's gonna, I think I'm gonna have to cut it off and then use it somewhere else. It's a little too long. Okay. Just gonna plop you somewhere else. There we go. Right there. Oh, lovely. And then sometimes I put something on top, like a tiny square of paper or something. Okay. Now I think I need some more thread over here. Okay, I'm done with the thread. You get the gist. So I kind of have a little focal point. Okay. Which here was my coil. And here I just put a circle. Maybe I'll just do another coil if I can. And then that is where I'm going to put my brad. Not loving that color. I think I just want the blue. Or maybe I'm going to add another little circle here with some text or something on it. Yeah, I think that'll work. And then to finish that off, I just took a little piece of coffee dyed paper and glued it on the back. So let me get these, and anything else I want to add, I will add off camera. I think it needs some more thread on the left there, but you get the gist. And I want to quickly show these to you in a book because they are gorgeous. There you go. And even on a small book like this, how cool is that? Or my favorite, a square book. Isn't that beautiful? I think so. And what I might do, I've had this little paper frame sitting around here forever, and I might put one of those in there. So okay everyone, I think you get the gist, and trust me, it did not take me 50 minutes to do these yesterday. I think I did 2 in 50 minutes. And I could add some more little torn paper too, like this one. Yeah, that's drying now. That's not going to go anywhere. So okay everyone, I hope you'll give it a try, and I'll add what I'm going to add at the end here. Let me glue that down. And take a nice photo, and I don't know what we're going to do next time. I'm considering going back to once a week just so I have more time to work, and although I might do my first product review on Thursday, not sure yet, but thanks so much for your time.